Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a real classic, looking at it through a fresh lens, for right now. Have you ever felt that weird modern thing? Like, we're drowning in information but still feel kind of disconnected. We scroll past these amazing photos, mountains, oceans, but how often do we really feel, grounded, actually present? It's like we're learning constantly but forgetting something vital. Well, Ralph Waldo Emerson, almost 200 years back, sort of saw this coming. His big 1836 essay, Nature. It lays out this path back to ourselves, and we're exploring that today using this really great modern companion by Evelyn Green. It's from EVG Books, just out in 2025. She basically puts Emerson's huge ideas into plain English, adds these reflections that really hit home for, well, how we live now, so our goal. Unpack how Emerson saw nature not just as, like, a nice view, but as a mirror, a teacher, a home, really. How we can find presence, not just productivity. Evelyn Green puts it perfectly. The peace, the purpose, the connection we're looking for. Maybe it's not in the algorithms.
Yeah, and it helps to know a little about Emerson himself to get where he was coming from. Born 1803, Boston. Came from this long line of ministers, He was apparently a quiet kid at Harvard, more into reading than grades. Then he actually left the ministry in 1832, questioning things. Found his real voice, it seems, in giving lectures. And nature, just 4 years later, 1836, that was it. That was the foundation, his big idea, that nature isn't just stuff out there. It's a direct, living expression of the divine. It didn't make huge waves immediately, but it grew, became like the cornerstone for the Transcendentalists. He wasn't trying to cover everything, though, just a few core truths. Trust yourself, think freely, see the divine in nature and in us.
Okay, so let's jump into that first big idea from nature, that feeling you get out in the wild. Like, it's this incredible gift. Emerson talks about this harmony where the earth itself seems to find peace. The sky, the air, the ground, it all just clicks. You feel like you're living so fully, like a whole lifetime of wonder packed into one moment.
He really digs into that. Yeah, that power of just stepping into the woods, how all the city stuff, opinions, judgments, routines, it just sort of melts away. The old rules, status, success, they don't matter out there. The forest, he says, it's your equalizer, your mirror, your judge. It strips away the superficial. The trees don't care about your job title, right? It's this quiet, sacred space, more honest than any belief system, really. It reminds you what being alive actually feels like.
And that's not just poetry, is it? It feels genuinely healing, like you're reconnecting with something you didn't even know you'd lost. All those ideas we have about being, too smart or too refined for the physical world, they just kind of dissolve. You remember you belong here. Your body belongs to the earth. Like you said, we're not just visitors, we're home. Even just looking up at the stars, and it speaks to something deep inside, doesn't it? A kind of wisdom you won't find in a textbook.
And Evelyn Green's take on this for today is so helpful. She points out that deep down, you already know how to be still, not just quiet, but rooted, peaceful, like an older, wiser part of yourself. Nature doesn't give you that stillness. It helps you remember it. Which, in our crazy, always-on world, that's like a quiet rebellion. Nature just is, and that invites us to just be. No filters, no performing.
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? When did you last feel small, but in a good way? What's nature telling you about your own nature? Where are you, maybe? Forgetting to look for that wonder. The big takeaway feels huge. You're not separate from nature. You are nature, remembering itself. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Emerson has this chapter, Commodity. He starts with the practical stuff, right? Food, water, shelter. The basics nature gives us.
Right, the essentials for survival. But then he flips it. He says, basically, that's not the main thing. Nature's greatest generosity lies not in what it gives us to use, but in how it keeps opening our eyes. Think about the sun, right? Just pouring out energy. Or wood holding heat. Rivers carrying life. And none of it comes with, like, a big announcement or needing thanks. Nature just gives constantly. No applause needed.
And that hits hard today, doesn't it? What if the best things, the most valuable things, actually cost nothing? Like you said, the sun doesn't send a bill, the stars don't have a subscription fee, the wind isn't running ads, yet these are maybe the most moving, reliable things in our lives. Yeah. In a world that tries to put a price tag on everything, that's humbling. Makes you look past just buying and selling.
Which leads to this other point, right? Do we really need to hustle so hard for peace? Or for that feeling of abundance? Emerson, and Green echoes this, suggests it's already here, available. You don't need to achieve some status or buy certain things to access wonder. Nature welcomes you as you are, tired, distracted, even skeptical. It just keeps offering its truth.
So maybe take a second. What's something beautiful around you right now that doesn't cost a thing? Where can you trade, just for a moment, transaction for wonder? When did you last just feel grateful for the sky? Emerson's question hangs there, doesn't it? The stars are still speaking. Are you still listening? Hmm. And just a quick reminder before we continue, this whole deep dive draws heavily on Evelyn Green's modern companion to Emerson's nature. If you want to check out more classics updated like this with modern reflections, you can find the whole EVG Books collection at linktr.eevgbooks. Definitely worth a look. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about beauty, nature's beauty. Not just that it looks nice, but that it speaks to something deeper. It teaches us.
Exactly. Emerson pushes us past just seeing pretty landscapes. Think about a snowflake's design, or a huge field of grain moving in the wind. He says it conveys how things were meant to be. It's more than just looking. We're participants. Like when wind blows through trees, you don't just hear it. You feel tuned by it somehow. A sunset isn't just colors. You feel kind of baptized by it, immersed.
Which feels like such a powerful counterpoint to our modern lives, right? This model of growth through just being, through stillness. We're so obsessed with striving, with productivity. But a tree doesn't hustle. A mountain doesn't need to prove anything. Yet they teach us so much about just standing strong, patience, being grounded, simply by existing.
And there's that ache you sometimes feel, right, when you see how aligned nature is, how integrated, compared to how fragmented we often feel. But Emerson suggests it's not like a judgment. It's not nature scolding you. It's more like a gentle question. The force isn't mad at you for being stressed or tired. It's just quietly asking, what if you came back? What if you remembered this?
It really makes you pause. When did you last feel genuinely awed? Just stopped in your tracks by something natural? What beauty have you maybe rushed past lately? What part of nature's rhythm, stillness, growth, release do you need to invite back into your own life? Because, like Emerson says so powerfully, nature is not just scenery, it's a message. And it's not asking you to watch, it's asking you to wake up. Let's get into this next part, which I find fascinating. Emerson's idea that language itself didn't start in books. It came from looking at the world.
Yeah, it's a really profound idea. Where did our words actually come from? He argues that every noun, tree, stone, bird, storm was once just the name for that real thing. And verbs, they came from watching movement, actions we saw and felt. Even today, our metaphors, fiery spirits, solid as rocks, they still echo nature. It's like nature was our first dictionary. The proof is still baked into how we talk.
And you think about great writing, the stuff that really moves you. It's not just clever words, is it? It feels alive because it taps into that power. The stillness of a stone, the energy of fire, the rhythm of water. The metaphors work because they're translating nature into meaning. And maybe when language gets too far from that source, it gets stale, just cliches.
Exactly. Evelyn Green talks about this as soul honesty. Nature gives us meaning directly. It's like the first language your soul ever learned. A forest can feel like forgiveness. The ocean can feel like grief. A sunrise just says, begin again, no words needed.
That's not just being poetic, it's tapping into a deeper understanding, right? Something beyond just logic. It connects us.
So what natural metaphor feels relevant to you right now? If you had to describe how you're feeling using only things from nature, what would you choose?
Yeah. Don't just see, feel. Don't just name things. Listen to what they're actually telling you. Okay, next up. Emerson sees nature as this amazing classroom, a compass, and a mirror for our minds, teaching us discipline through its consistency.
Right. The idea is that the basic laws out there, seasons changing, gravity working, they actually shape how we think, how we grow. Think about being a kid. You drop a stone in water, you learn cause and effect instantly. You climb a tree, you learn balance. These aren't just games, they're fundamental lessons. Our sense of justice, truth, balance. Maybe it comes less from human rules and more from watching how the world actually works.
And that really connects to now, doesn't it? The outside world mirroring our inside world. That storm you're going through emotionally. Maybe there's literally a storm outside. That calm you feel after letting something go.
Yeah.
It's like the quiet after rain. Sometimes we don't need words to understand ourselves. We just need to go outside.
And it makes you rethink discipline, doesn't it? Emerson reframes it. It's not about being rigid or following harsh rules. It's about alignment. Nature doesn't judge or shame. It just is. It invites us to meet it there. And it reminds us growth isn't always about getting bigger or faster. Sometimes it's about being still, decaying even, waiting for the right season to come back.
So, here's something to think about. What part of nature feels most like your inner state right now? Where might you be fighting against a natural season in your own life? Rest, maybe, or change, or letting go? What lesson is the outside world trying to teach you? Because ultimately, it's not just that you live in nature. Nature is also living through you. Okay, now we get into something really deep. Emerson's idea that nature isn't just matter, it's spirit, a living reflection of our inner selves. This chapter, The Eye of God is Yours, is pretty radical.
It really is. This is his idealism coming through strongly. The world isn't just out there, fixed and separate. It responds to us. It's woven into our consciousness. Your mind isn't just seeing the world, it's shaping it. The sky gets its color from your soul. The trees speak through your heart. That's his perspective. Even big human things like science and art. He'd say, well, we didn't invent them. We remembered them. They reflect universal laws that are already in the universe and in us.
Wow. And he talks about spirit as this single thread running through everything, seen and unseen, near and far. Not like a ghost, but the living essence of, well, everything, what you feel in those moments of real awe.
Exactly. And the key takeaway is that this spirit isn't hiding behind nature, it is nature. And you're part of it too, not just visiting, but a vessel, a part of the whole thing. This leads to that feeling of universal oneness, where the lines between you and the world just soften. For a moment, maybe you feel like everything is breathing together, connected.
Which in our world, that pushes individuality so hard.
Yeah.
That feels like such a vital reminder from Green's perspective, too. You are not separate, you are sacred, and so is everything around you. It pulls you back into the weave of things.
So maybe ask yourself, what simple thing did you overlook today that might actually hold sacred meaning? What if the divine isn't something out there to reach for, but something you're already inside? What would change if you saw yourself not as separate from nature, but as nature, becoming aware of itself?
It's a huge thought. You don't just see the world. You are how the world sees itself. Because everything is connected. And finally, Emerson leaves us with this really beautiful, urgent invitation to see again, to renew our vision. The world is still full of miracles, he says, the sunrise, the stars, but somewhere along the way, we've stopped noticing.
Yeah, he really wants us to get back that childlike wonder. Remember being a kid, when wonder was just how you operated, every rock was interesting, every tree was huge. But we traded in for facts, for labels. He says, get the names out of the way, peel back the habit, look with the wide gaze of the soul.
And the modern reflection here feels so crucial. We don't need more data, more stuff. We need more awe, more presence. Wonder isn't just feeling mushy, it's a way of seeing, a discipline almost of noticing, a path back to simplicity.
And does this mean you have to go on some big trip? No. That's the beautiful irony Emerson points out. You only need to look again, that bird flying past your window, the light on the floor, the wind moving a curtain. The sacred is right here, waiting to be noticed.
So what's something ordinary in your day that you haven't really seen in a while? What if wonder isn't just a mood, but something you practice? Where in your routine is the sacred already waiting for you to just notice?
The world is still, burning with beauty. You don't have to light it, you just have to look. So maybe take off the armor of knowing and put on the eyes of a beginner again.
So as we rack up this deep dive, Emerson's legacy, especially through Evelyn Green's modern lens, feels so clear. He didn't write nature just for us to escape the world. He wrote it to help us return.
Absolutely. What we get from Emerson is this deep sense of belonging, a practice of seeing things fresh, a way to live where we see ourselves not above nature or below it, but of it. His kind of wild mind gives us a compass in this noisy world, pointing us back to, as Green puts it, roots over roles, presence over pressure, reverence over rush.
So maybe the invitation is simple. Walk outside, touch a leaf, watch a cloud move, take a deep breath, and ask yourself not what's next on my list, but what am I already part of? And again, we really encourage you to check out Evelyn Green's Modern Companion to Nature and the other updated classics from EVG Books. The link is linktr.evgbooks. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep seeking the wisdom that's probably already closer than you think.